Why have you said the high of winning is unable to match the low of losing?
I don't know. I mean, it kind of like progressed more towards that, because I think in the beginning, like the high was pretty good with winning, because I remember in college like winning money and be like, oh, I can go buy a motorcycle, and that was like a real thing. And
right.
like, oh, I'm gonna like, and I actually used the money. Like I went out and bought a plasma TV, and I got a Range Rover, and like those were all things that at the time, like those like, you know, they moved the incremental like happiness, you know, benchmark up. And like later on, when you have, you know, most of the that you want, then when you win or lose, you know, whatever it is, 50,000, 100,000, it doesn't change your life, so you don't really get that happy. But then when you lose, you view it as like, okay, like I just lost whatever. You kind of got to like mute your emotion a little bit in poker, because if you're winning a bunch of money and you're like internally celebrating, then you lose some of that back, you're not going to be playing quite as level-headed. And that's really like one of the big things with poker, is to be not what they call on tilt. So it's kind of like to keep a even keel. And in order to do that, you kind of have to like try and remove emotion from the game. So when you're losing, you have to try and not care. When you're winning, you have to kind of like not internally celebrate. And so I think some of that carries over into your personal life too, because you've muted your emotions for so long that it's like harder to get happy.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Have you found that to be the case for you?
Yeah.
Like in what ways?
Well, just, you know, I'll give you an example. Go to a casino, and when you hear the motherfucker screaming and yelling and celebrating, I promise you that guy's not betting more than a couple $100 a hand. And you'll watch a guy win 50,000 a hand, he won't say a fucking word, he'll barely crack a smile if he does.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like just one of those things where, I don't know, after you do it for a while, or when you're doing it on a high level, I just think.
I mean, but in your personal life, like away from playing, you found it's harder to get like happy?
So for me, it's tough, because if, you know, for my personal life, right, like the bar is raised up pretty high. So if I don't have the nicest stuff, then I'm not satisfied. And so that kind of like, I think plays a part in it too. So I have to have the best food, I have to have the best cars, just to kind of like, you know, like for you, right? Like let's say you're a guy from, you know, Idaho, and you know you have a Mustang. Mm-hmm. Then if you get a shitty car, you're going to be unhappy, right? Because you own a Mustang, you drive that every day, and that's, you know, and at first you're happy with it, and now it's just like, you know, what you're used to. So if I give you some shitty Buick, you're going to be upset. But you know, a guy that, you know, doesn't have a car, you know, is going to be happy with the Buick, and a guy that's been driving around a BMW, if you give him a brand new Mustang, you know what I'm saying? Right. So it's kind of like, but once you get to the highest level of that stuff, then, and there's nowhere to go, there's no better stuff, and you're just content with it, you're the same as the guy driving the Mustang. You have the same feeling about your vehicle, you know, maybe even less, because you're so, you know, it's the same as the guy that's driving a Mustang for 10 years. Right. So I guess that's kind of like where I'm going with that, is like perspective is a big piece.